We're always hearing about AI getting bigger, right? Bigger models, more data, more computing power, just more of everything. But what if the biggest secret in AI isn't big at all? What if it's small? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a piece of tech that might just be way more important for your daily life than some giant supercomputer.
Yeah, exactly. You see the headlines all the time, right? The race to build these trillion parameter models, it's all about going bigger. But what if the real revolution, the one that's actually going to change things, isn't happening in some far-off data center? What if it's happening right here, on the device you're holding right now? That's what we're digging into today, this incredible shrinking world of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so to really get why tiny is such a big deal, you got to understand the two main flavors of AI out there. You've got your cloud AI on one side, super powerful, absolutely massive, but it needs the internet, always. And your data, it has to get sent off to some server somewhere. Then on the other side, you have local AI. This stuff is efficient, it's self-contained, and this is key, it keeps your data right there with you. That's the fundamental choice we're looking at.
And that brings us to the big problem with those giant cloud models. Think of them like a vintage muscle car. It's incredibly powerful, looks amazing, but it guzzles gas like there's no tomorrow. These AIs need a whole power plant's worth of resources to run. That makes them completely impractical for your phone or your car, or in places where security is everything, like a hospital or a bank. You just can't be sending sensitive data all over the internet.
So, the million-dollar question is, how do you get all that power into a tiny package? Well, the answer is this amazing field called model compression. And the goal is, it's simple, but it's totally brilliant. You take a huge, super smart AI model and you shrink it. I mean, you shrink it way down, but you do it without losing the magic that makes it smart to begin with.
All right, so how do you actually put a giant AI on a diet? It's not like there's one magic button you can press. Instead, engineers have this whole toolkit of really clever techniques. We're going to look at the three big ones: pruning, quantization, and something called low-rank factorization. These are the secret ingredients for making AI lean and mean.
First up, we've got pruning. I want you to picture an AI model as this super dense tree, right? It's got billions of branches, which are basically connections. Now, it turns out a whole lot of these branches are just dead weight. They don't really do anything important. So pruning is like a smart gardener coming in and just snipping away all those useless connections. What you're left with is a much lighter, more efficient model that still has all its core strength.
Okay, next on the list is quantization. This one is all about precision. So think about the numbers an AI uses to think. They're usually super detailed, right? Like a high-resolution photo with millions of different colors. Quantization is basically like taking that photo and turning it into an old-school 8-bit graphic. You're using a way simpler color palette, so yeah, you lose a tiny bit of detail, but you can still totally tell what the picture is. And the best part? The file size is just a fraction of the original.
And our last tool in the kit is low-ranked factorization. Now, this one's a really clever math trick. Imagine you have a really complex problem, and the solution is in this one giant, super complicated instruction manual. What this technique does is figure out how to swap that one huge manual for, say, 2 or 3 much smaller, simpler ones that get you the exact same result when you use them together. It's just a much more efficient way to represent complex stuff, and man, it cuts down the model size like crazy.
Okay, so all these techniques, trimming things down, simplifying, breaking stuff apart, they sound great on paper, right? But does this stuff actually work in the real world? Like, is anyone out there really building a business on the idea that smaller AI is actually better AI?
Well, let's take a look at a real company doing just that, TinyLM. Their whole business, their entire philosophy is built around this. What they do is create these really powerful AI models that are so compressed, so efficient, that they can run entirely inside your web browser, completely offline. Think about that. No cloud, no servers, just pure AI running right there on your own machine.
And this quote from them just nails their whole strategy. Think small to win big. You know, instead of trying to compete in this crazy race to build the biggest model on the planet, their goal is to win by creating the smartest, most efficient small models for very specific jobs. It's all about being strategic, not just being huge. And this next one, this just brilliantly sums up the complete shift in thinking. For decades, the model was, you send your data to the computer, to the cloud, to the server. This whole local AI approach just flips that completely on its head. The AI model is now so small that it can be sent to your device to work on your data right where it lives. And the implications of that, they're massive.
So what does this offline advantage actually mean in the real world? Well, the benefits are super practical. It means your app works on a plane when there's no Wi-Fi. It means your company's sensitive data never ever leaves your computer. It means you're not paying for every single API call to some cloud server. You own it. You control the whole thing.
And this chart really puts it all side by side. It's a total head-to-head. For pretty much every big concern you might have with cloud AI, this local approach has a really solid answer. Worried about data privacy? Bam! The model comes to your data. Worried about accuracy and those weird AI hallucinations? Well, a specialized model is just way more reliable. And cost and control? You're not at the mercy of some third party's pricing or their rules anymore. You're in charge.
At the end of the day, what this all points to is a completely new way of thinking about AI for practical, everyday use. Instead of relying on one giant, kind of reckless model that knows a little bit about everything, businesses can use these lean, specialized models that are absolute experts in just one thing. And for so many real-world situations, that's not just more efficient, it's just plain better.
And that really brings us to the final big question. As this model compression stuff gets better and better, we have to ask ourselves, is powerful always going to mean biggest? Or is the truly powerful AI going to be the one that's efficient, private, and smart enough to live right in your pocket, ready to go whenever you need it? The answer to that is going to shape, well, the future of tech for every single one of us.